Welcome back. I am Rahana, and we are playing more of Gakuen Heaven 2. This is after the third round of the Bell 1. Sonoda tried to cheat. Failed to cheat because it turned out that even though he planned to betray Yuki, he was being betrayed by Professor Sakaki the entire time. So we have the backstory for Sonoda. We have some backstory for Sakaki that's come out a bit here. And now Joker is actually going to be the one to explain Sonoda's circumstances, why he even considered betraying the school in the first place. And he started this by saying, if it's hard for you to say, if it's hard for Sakaki to explain, shall I tell him? And we know from playing Joker's route that Joker knows a lot about Sonoda, so he's going to pick up the explanation here. Though Sakaki will pretty much talk as much as Joker during this section, so... Alright. To put it simply, Professor Sakaki dangled the wealth of the Sakaki group in front of Eiji to tempt him. So he would steal the rights of the student council. But he had no intention of paying Eiji.
だけどエイジはそれを真に受けて僕に生徒会を潰す協力を持ちかけてきたってわけだ。
But Eiji took it seriously and proposed that I help him destroy the student council. So now you see why Joker knows everything that's going on here.
で、退屈だった僕は企みに乗せられたふりをしてエイジと生徒会を潰すゲームをしてたってわけ。
Well, I was bored, so I pretended to go along with his plan, and I set up a game to ruin the student council.
あいつは僕を操ってデュラックを作らせたと思ってたみたいだけどさ。
But it seems like he thought he was manipulating me into creating Duroc, implying that Joker knew all along that it was just a plot.
僕としては別に暇が潰せれば何でもよかったんだよね。
But anything's okay with me to kill time.
ってことで大体合ってるでしょ、榊先生。
Well, that's the gist of it, right, Professor?
身も蓋もない説明だが、おおよそは合っている。
That was a very blunt explanation, but it's close enough.
そんな払う気もないお金をちらつかせて利用するなんてひどいじゃないですか。
But that's terrible, taking advantage of him, tempting him with money with no intention to pay.
園田さんがお金が必要だって知ってたのに。
Even though you knew he needed money.
だいたい
Wait.
園田さんはなんでお金が必要なんですか？
Why does he need money? The question everyone's been asking all along. Of course, all this other stuff raises more questions, like why destroy the student council? What was the board's intention? What do they want to do? It seems like they want to weaken the strength of student management at the school, but you're like, for what purpose? Well, it seems like it's to get at that research data, which we found out about in Tomo's story. So it's all starting to kind of come together. The questions that come up, some of them have been answered. There's still more to come, though. And this, of course, is the big question that's been on everyone's mind. Why does Sonoda need money?
園田の母親が俺の叔父と再婚して俺のいとこになったことは知ってるな。
So you know that his mother remarried my uncle and became my cousin, right? Well, he became my cousin. I guess that makes Sonoda's mother Sakaki's step-aunt. Just gets very confusing when you start doing all this stuff, right?
はい。
Right.
あいつの父、園田博之は有名フレンチレストランのシェフ兼オーナーだ。
And his father, Sonoda Hiroyuki, was the chef and owner of a famous French restaurant.
前に園田さんから聞きました。
I heard that before from
キュイジーヌ・ド・
Sonoda.
園田ってお店だって。
It was the famous Cuisine de Sonoda.
園田さんはそのお父さんに憧れて料理を始めるようになったって。
And Sonoda said he started cooking because he aspired to be like his father.
あいつは幼い頃から父親のような一流の料理人になって店を継ぐ。それだけを考えて育ってきたんだろう。
And ever since he was young, he thought he would become a first-class cook like his father and inherit the restaurant.
だがあいつの父親は料理の才能こそ類いまれなものだったが、 経営の才能はなかった。
So Sonoda was raised believing that, but while his father's talent in cooking may have been incomparable, he had no talent for management.
料理の腕と評判に任せて店舗拡大をしていくにつれ、経営が立ち行かなくなっていたんだ。
And as he expanded the restaurant, banking on the reputation of his skill as a cook, he couldn't keep up with the management.
倒産寸前まで追い込まれたところに、鈴菱グループから経営再建の話が持ちかけられたんだ。
And right before he was pushed into bankruptcy, the Suzubishi Group made an offer to help restructure the business.
有名店となった店名の版権やレシピを鈴菱の食品部門が使用することを協力の条件としてな。
And as a condition of their help or cooperation, Suzubishi would copyright the name of the famous restaurant and use those recipes in their food division. So remember, Suzubishi has a big food and restaurant division. They supply the school cafeteria.
職人かたぎの彼は店を継続させるためにその条件を飲んだ。
And he, who took pride in his work, accepted their terms in order for his restaurant to survive.
それでどうなったんですか？
And then what happened?
鈴菱に経営が移った結果、園田の名前を冠したレトルト食品やコラボ商品が大量に打ち出された。
And as a result of the management being turned over to Suzubishi, they came out with a lot of microwave foods crowned with the Sonoda name and all sorts of kind of collaboration goods. Like, that's stuff like where you see. Well, I guess the only way I can explain it is because I'm a Sailor Moon fan, so there's been a lot of things that have come out where there's different shops will have, you know, shop name X Sailor Moon, and it'll be, you know, like a fashion store, and they'll come out with a line of clothing with Sailor Moon designs and things like that. So it was kind of like Sonoda type branded stuff.
また、園田ブランドの名を利用した廉価版の大衆レストランが次々と作られ、チェーン化した。
And taking advantage of the Sonoda brand, they opened bargain-priced restaurants for the general public, one after another, and it became a chain.
結果的に園田ブランドは相当な利益を生むコンテンツへと成長した。
And in the end, the Sonoda brand was grown into a profitable property of the Suzubishi Group. So basically, it got sold out and became a chain.
それはすごいですね。
Well, that's incredible.
だが、その陰で本家のキュイジーヌ・ド・園田は閉店に追いやられた。
But in that shadow, the original Cuisine du Sonoda was forced to close.
そんな、どうして？
But why?
さあな、
Who knows?
安く手に入るようになった園田の味にわざわざ高値を出す客が減ったからなのか。
Maybe it's because there were fewer customers who were willing to pay a high price for the Sonoda taste that could now be gotten cheaply.
単に本店の存在が人々に忘れられ、客足が遠のいてしまったのか。
Or maybe it was simply that people forgot about the existence of the original restaurant and the customers ended up leaving.
そんな、
Oh no.
お店を続けるためにレシピや店名を売ったのに。
Even though he sold the recipes and the restaurant name in order to continue his restaurant.
本店の閉店を機にあいつの父親は離婚し蒸発した。
And when the main restaurant closed, his father divorced his mother and disappeared.
園田にしてみれば裏切られた気がしたんだろう。
Sonoda must have felt betrayed by that.
あいつはそれが許せなくて鈴菱に買い取られた園田ブランドの買い戻しを望んだんだ。
So you can see with the disappearance of his father, back when Yuki was talking to him and saying, oh, your father must have been so nice teaching you all these things, and Sonoda just clammed up immediately. You know, Yuki didn't know he was just pushing right at Sonoda's sore spot. There was no way for him to know that. But, you know, replaying, of course, you see a lot of these things that were hinted at before. And, you know, even just as you play for the first time, when you get to this point, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe Yuki did that. But he didn't do it on purpose. And now, so Sonoda, he couldn't forgive it, and he wanted to buy back the Sonoda brand from Suzubishi.
でも、それってすごく高いんじゃ。
But that would be really expensive.
ああ、一個人では到底買い戻せるような額じゃない。
It's not an amount that a single person could buy back. So that's why he wants money. In order to buy back the Sonoda brand. But buying an entire company, there's no way a single high school student could do it. But still,
園田も頭のどこかでは理解していたはずなんだ。
somewhere in that head of his, he must understand.
だが、現実問題として受け入れることができないでいる。
But he can't accept it as a real problem.
受け入れてしまったら、あいつの店も家族も二度と戻らないと認めてしまうことになるからな。
If he were to accept it, he would end up having to recognize that he'll never have his restaurant or his family back. So it's not just about the restaurant. It's not just about the cheap, crappy food that's masquerading as his father's food. It's also the dream that if I can get back the restaurant, if I can get back this thing that failed and tore my family apart, then maybe I can fix it. Maybe we can all be together again. And all those happy memories from when I was a kid growing up and my dreams and everything can all be put back together. Except they can't.
そこまで知ってて、先生は出汁に使ったってわけ。
You knew that much and you still used him as a dupe? Now you know that if Joker is looking at you like, wow, that is really going too far. Like, that is just beyond the pale. If even Joker is like, whoa, you know you have gone too far.
たとえ叶わない夢だったとしても、絶望して立ち止まるよりは目的があった方があいつのためだ。
Even if he had an unattainable dream, it was better to have a goal than to stand still in despair.
だからってひどいです。
But that's terrible.
叶えられない嘘で園田さんを操るような真似をするなんて。
You manipulated Sonoda with a lie that you wouldn't grant.
園田さんはそのために学園の人たちを敵に回したっていうのに。
And for that, he made enemies of everyone in the entire school.
架空の報酬と天秤にかけて学園の人間を騙す方を選んだのはあいつ自身だぞ。
He was the one who weighed the merits of his imaginary reward and chose to deceive everyone in the school.
確かにみんなを騙して裏切ったことは良くないことですけど。
Well, it's true that it wasn't good to deceive everyone and betray us, but
そこまで覚悟しなきゃいけなかったってことは、それだけ園田さんにとって重大なことだったんじゃないですか。
well, wasn't he only prepared to go that far because it was so important to him?
俺に言わせればそんなのは覚悟じゃない。
If you were to ask me, I wouldn't call that determination.
失った過去にしがみついて現実逃避をしているだけだ。
Clinging to a lost past is just running away from reality. And that's an important line. That's something you should remember. Because we'll find out soon enough, but in a way, Sakaki is like not qualified to say anything about that at all, and in a way, he knows better than anyone that clinging to a lost past is just running away from reality.
なくしたものを取り戻すことは不可能だ。遅かれ早かれ、あいつは現実を受け入れなくちゃいけない。
It's impossible to get back what's been lost. Sooner or later, he has to accept reality. You too, buddy.
父親に裏切られ、絶望したあいつはそれができなかった。
But betrayed by his father and in despair, he couldn't do that.
だから泣きついてきたあいつに、俺は仮初めの目的と逃げ場を与えてやった。
So, I gave him a temporary goal and a refuge when he was crying.
それだけの話だ。
That's all. So remember that way back during the bar Sonoda scene where Sakaki mentioned something about, Sonoda crying to him with a broken heart. He wasn't talking about, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a love that he had. He was talking about his broken heart over losing his family. When they first met, when they first became step-cousins, when they first became family. And it's just not what you expected because of the way it was phrased, broken heart. But a broken heart can come from anything. And it's just sad. I know this is making Sakaki look like a giant jerk, but I don't want to say too much, but there are reasons as we peel back the layer of the onion of emo and we get down to the core. We're getting closer to the inside, and we'll learn more. There is still more to that.
そんなの冷たすぎますよ。
That is too cold.
俺、園田さんを探しに行きます。俺は園田さんの目的を邪魔した張本人だけど。
I'm gonna go find Sonoda, even though I'm the person responsible for getting in the way of his goal.
榊先生やジョーカーさんみたいに平気な顔で園田さんを放っておくなんて俺にはできません。
I can't let him go calmly like you and Joker.
まったくあいつは。
Jeez, that one. So, just like Sonoda took off, got pissed, left, Yuki is also very angry here. So,
先生、大人だね。
you're such an adult.
何がだ。
What's that supposed to mean?
わざわざヒール役を買って出るなんてさ。
Well, you purposely took on the role of the villain. So Joker gets it. Yuki is more simple. He sees what's on the surface. Joker understands a little more of the situation. Plus, he's known for longer. And as a second-year student, I'm sure he knows Sakaki a little better than Yuki would, too. But he gets it. He knows what's up.
あんなことを言ったら、ユウキ君はエイジを追いかけていくに決まってるじゃん。
Saying stuff like that, of course Yuki would go chasing after Eiji.
それを狙ったんでしょ。
That's what you were after, wasn't it?
単に子守が面倒なだけだ。
It's just the babysitting gets annoying.
理事会の方は俺が後始末をつける。
I'll deal with the board.
お前はあのめんどくさい奴らの帰る場所を用意してやってくれ。
And you should prepare a place for those two annoying guys to come back to. So, that's the end of this scene. A lot of interesting information there. So now we know what Sonoda was up to, what has been bothering him this entire time. And, I like that we get a hint of what's going on behind the scenes even more. With Sakaki, with Sonoda, and even here with Joker knows what's up. He plays dumb a bit, but he's actually extremely smart. He's very perceptive, and even though he feels bad for Sonoda with what's going on here, because he knows he's been manipulated horribly, I think he can kind of see that this will probably turn out okay. And we are definitely at the point where things will turn out okay. So don't worry too much. It is sad. There are more sad times to come, but it'll get better. And yeah, I don't really know what else to say at this point. It's just without giving away too much. So I think I'll just stop here, and we will pick up next time with Yuki and his search for Sonoda and see where that takes him. Has a nice interesting little detour there, so I hope you'll enjoy that. This has been kind of a heavy scene, so a little bit of lightness in the next one, and then we'll continue through toward the ending. So I hope you enjoyed that and that you'll join me next time.